I take the Obama's message all in, his and hers. You know, when went out the other day and told African American men that if they didn't vote for Kamala Harris, it was because they just didn't like the idea of having a woman president. I think this browbeating, I think this scolding, this idea that if you don't vote Democrat, then you can't control your own rage. I don't know anybody that feels rageful. I do know working class men who feel like they've been beaten down in this economy. I think there has been a lot of scolding and browbeating on this front. I think these never Trump people are scolding and browbeating Republicans who decide they'd rather have a center right government. And I just think when you're closing on that sort of hateful message, it means you're worried.
Hillary Clinton had a lot of plans. I've read through a lot of the positions of the vice president. Don't agree with a lot of them, but they're specific as hell. I think the issue is it's just not resonating with people. People that look at her, they think, well, a very smart woman. She's a capable woman. She's had a lot of successes in her career. And yet none of that is resonating with the average person, including those within her own party, which is why there's still some fractures within her base.
Listen, for a race that is evenly divided, okay, it is a tied race. We cannot make blanket statements. It's not resonating. Because it's a tied race. And if all the things you're saying are true, it's not resonating. The economy is bad. The mood of the country typically is an anti-incumbent mood. Donald Trump would be leading, but he's not.
So let me reframe my statement then to make this a little bit more clear. She's not where she needs to be compared to where Biden was at this point, 13 days out. She's not where Hillary Clinton was 13 days out, to add some more specificity.
Sure. Yes.
So my point is, there's something obviously there that is not coalescing the entire Democratic base around the vice president. That's up for her and her campaign to figure out.
I mean, I think that to your point, though, ago was a different environment.
Sure.
Joe Biden wasn't the incumbent 4 years ago. She wasn't the incumbent vice president. So it is a little bit of a different situation.
Okay, well, what about Hillary Clinton? Let's go to Hillary Clinton then. Woman, incredibly intelligent, probably one of the most experienced individuals to ever run for the office.
I want to ask you guys to subscribe, like the video if you feel so inclined. It'll really help me in the algorithm. Today, I want to highlight, my predictions, what I'm kind of seeing, how I'm seeing the election playing out, and hopefully, if we do what we're supposed to do, I'm trying to get like 2 more people to go vote. They still haven't voted yet in my neighborhood. I'm trying to get them to vote. I ask that everyone who's watching this video do the same, regardless of who you want to vote for. But I'm likely to think that you're voting for Trump if you're watching this video. But I digress. I'm just going to give you some of my thoughts about polling. I usually use Real Clear Politics polling, realclearpolling.com. It's an aggregate because obviously polls can be biased. I practice where I preach because I believe that everyone's biased in some degree. It's just some people are less biased than others. And I believe that aggregators tell me more. An aggregation of polls tell me more about what's going on than just one specific poll. I point to Rasmussen, or I point to New York Sarah polls. I only really use those polls to see if Democrats are losing support, right? But I digress. I think I'm rambling too much, right? Here's the current polling that's going on right now, based on some polls here, as you can see. Disapproval, look, 15%. That's damn. State of the Union, wrong track. 36% towards the Republicans. National polls, Trump is up 2, right? Which national polls just signifies who's going to win the national vote. The popular vote, and it looks like Donald Trump has a great chance. As you can see, this is the aggregate spread, 0.2 on average. If you see all the pollsters here, CNN has them tied, right? Tied. CBS has them up. Harris up 1. Of course, CBS, you have them up 1, right? So this is what I'm going to use to kind of make my predictions. Race to the middle. Which candidate resonates more with middle America? I want to ask this question with you all. Who do you believe resonate more with middle America? A billionaire or a lady that has never worked in the private sector her entire life? All her jobs has been somewhat involved with the government. Who resonate more with middle America? Who has to interact a lot with middle America? I think Donald Trump by a landslide. Like, look how they approach. Kamala Harris reached $1 billion faster than Donald Trump did. What that tells you? Like think about it. What does that tell you? Is the party, like, imagine Democrats are some of the most wealthiest and richest people, yet they're sitting here saying they face the interests of the working class. That's a lie. Look at '08. '08 is the perfect example. Oh, the banks are too big to fail. No business is too big to fail. In capitalism, if you fail, it means you was doing something right and you deserve to fail. That's capitalism. Socialism is no, we subjectively say that this business is too big to fail. We can't let it fail to justify giving paying back Obama's donors for financing his campaign. But the progressives want to sit here and pretend that the Democratic parties are not susceptible to this. They love to push this thing. Oh, the gun activists are funding the Republican Party, but they don't talk about the pharmacist companies that's funding the Democratic Party. They don't talk about big tech that's donating to the Democratic Party. They don't talk about the bankers, the financial institutions like Wall Street funding Democratic Party. They don't talk about none of that though. But they're sitting here focusing on the Republicans. This is why I think that I said this a long time ago on my channel, but Hispanics are breaking for Trump. Hell, there's a movement in the black community where they're breaking for Trump. And my prediction is here, and let's go to the prediction map because that's what you're really here for. But what really is going to decide the election, not decide the election, but what I'm going to use as a marker is how much black support the Democrats loses. Because if they lose, kind of like for me, I want to watch Chicago. If let's say Chicago right here, based on the polling, is deep red. If Chicago goes lean, if it leans blue, I like my chances. I like Donald Trump's chances because there's been a lot of Chicagoans that are angry with the way the Democrats has been running the city, the way that they've been using the sanctuary city status. It's been pissing off a lot of people in Chicago, it's right now, like originally it was deep blue. Let me reset the map. Originally it's deep blue, but in my prediction, I think it's going to lean blue. They're still going to win it, but they're going to have less Democratic support than they did compared to Joe Biden. Minnesota, I think it's going to be deep blue. I don't think it's leaning blue right now, but I don't think so. Now, in my prediction, in my view, Trump is up, as you guys saw. Trump is up. I'm going back real quick. So, here's the battleground state. Trump versus Harris. This is Trump. Trump zero. All of this within the margin of error. Margin of error is that if it's within 4%, it can go either or. But if you see the top battleground states, technically, based on all the data, as of yesterday, at the time I'm making this video on the 29th, Donald Trump is supposed to essentially win all of the swing states, which pretty much helps him win in a landslide victory. You want to see how that looks like if Donald Trump wins all of the swing states? I got you. Right? So if you can see, if Donald Trump wins all the swing states, let's do. Let me put all these are supposed to be lean red technically, based on the polling that in my view anyway. So 312. If Donald Trump wins all the swing states, 312. Now, this is where I think is actually going to happen, right? I think the closer to California a state is, the more likely they are to be blue. Now, Arizona, I'm gonna leave it lean. I think if you were to tell me, Kenny, what if you're wrong? I think where I could be wrong. Why did they change this? New Mexico, wasn't this red? Sorry guys, I'm messing up already. Let's restart the map. I think Arizona, if they do win a swing state, I think it's gonna be either Arizona and Nevada, in my view. And then Nevada, the no tax on tips thing, I think it can help Trump. Wisconsin, I think Wisconsin, like this is what I'm saying. I'm gonna use Chicago because Chicago, if it leans blue, right, it's deep blue right now. But if it leans blue based on the end result of the polling, I like my chances with Wisconsin being Trump, going for Trump. Pennsylvania, I have a strong feeling he's going to go for Trump here. And boom, he wins the election. He doesn't even need these two, technically, right? North Carolina is going to be, I think it's going to be a close race. And I think Georgia's going to go back red. But yeah. And then Michigan, there's been a lot of shenanigans that's been going on in Arizona as well. I just wanted to point that out in my prediction. There's been ballot boxes that's being burned. So if you're in Arizona, if you're in any of these battleground states, recheck that your vote was counted. If it wasn't counted, go out and vote in person. That to me, that's more secure. because if machines start breaking, because Arizona, this is why I have such a feeling that Arizona might turn blue because of the fact that, all these instances, all these shenanigans are happening. If you don't follow up on your vote, if you're not sure if you voted, I'll say make the line again and they say, hey, look, I voted, but I'm hearing that ballots are being burned in certain counties. Please check the story. I haven't been paying attention much to Arizona and the swing states, but if that's happening, please check it out. So if I'm wrong, I think at most, this is my prediction. At most, Harris can win 2 states. 2 out of the 7 battleground states is looking like most likely it could. I don't know. Something telling me it can't be Michigan. Pennsylvania, I'm like this with it right now. I'm not sure. North Carolina, I think out of all the states, I think Georgia might be the one she wins, right? But Trump still wins the election if she wins 2 states. So at most, in my prediction, I think Kamala Harris at best wins 2 battleground states. At worst, she loses them all, right? But if she were to win, I think Georgia may be a close one. I think it's going to be a close one. Arizona also will be a close one, right? Pennsylvania, I see Trump winning Pennsylvania. For some reason, I can't think in my mind a situation where she wins Pennsylvania. So I think this is going to be Trump's map. I think this is going to be the map for sure. You can screenshot this. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Best case scenario, Trump wins all the swing states. But in the scenario where I'm wrong, right? Because end of the day, if you look at the polling, everything's close. Everything's close. Like the margin's 0 point like something, right? And this is why I laugh, because people in my conversation be like, what are you talking about? Kamala Harris is up in the polls. And they're referencing like one poll. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm doing the spread. Like I'm doing the aggregate. Like I'm collecting all the data and then I'm giving you the average. And on average, Trump is up by 0.5%, by 0.9%, right? They'll reference national polls. Like this is me debating people in the comment section. This is why I see why people don't. They'll be like, what are you talking about? They're referencing a CBS news poll. What are you talking about? Kamala Harris is up. Or they're going to go to an ABC poll. Kamala Harris is up 4%. What are you talking about that Trump's leading in the polls? When they're talking about this, I'm talking about up here. Like by 0.5%. Like Trump has in a running for the popular vote, right? Right. And there's other shenanigans that I'm worried about, YouTube. I'm not saying that something's going to happen. I'm just saying it's common sense. Virginia asks SCOTUS to allow removal of non-citizens from voting roll. And the reason why I feel some type of way about Michigan is because apparently Michigan's state electorate is allowing roll call for non-citizens to vote in the county. So if it's, let's say I'm very, 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 very wrong, and Michigan goes for Trump, right? Not for Trump. Michigan goes for Harris. Trump will win by 2, just 2 points. This is like, to me, this is the worst case scenario where Donald Trump, like he loses Michigan, she wins Georgia, she wins Arizona, because there's shenanigans. The reason I picked these 3 states because there's shenanigans that was going on in these 3 states, and if it worked, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And some places, I think in Wisconsin even, they said that it was going to take a week or 2. And I think the Supreme Court a judge just finished ruling that they can no longer take voting ballots after the election, because that's what was happening in 2020 that made many people doubt the election, is that they're still taking in ballots after the election was done. Like they're like, yo, it's election day for a reason. If you don't get your vote in by election day, your vote don't count anymore, right? A judge just finished ruling that, yes, you're not allowed to take in votes after election day, which is a perfect step in the right direction. But this is kind of the map. If I see, hey, if it's a really close race, this is how it's going to turn out. If Donald Trump sweeps, he's going full on. But this is if I'm really wrong. If I'm really wrong and it's as close as the polls are saying it is, this, based on the polls, might be the most realistic map. But I also want to add this caveat here too. If you're in a battleground state, I think you need to get 10 people in your circle to go vote. Low propensity voters. This is why I said that, like in my channel, on this channel, I told people, hey, early vote. If you're political, because we are like, if you're watching this channel, you already know you was going to vote for Trump. So don't wait until election day. Vote early, so that way you can focus your energy on trying to get more people to vote for Donald Trump or convince more people to vote for Donald Trump. Because this easily can happen. Based on the polls, this easily could be the race. One more state flip either way, Democrats win. One state flip the other way, Republicans win. Right? Let's say I'm wrong about Nevada and they end up flipping for Democrats. Kamala Harris is your new president. Right? And this could literally be the scenario that we face if we don't go out and do our job. All right. I know I'm in a safe red state here in Florida. They have it as lean red, but this to me, it's safe red. In Florida, we have more registered Republicans than Democrats. This is a safe red state, but here they have it lean red. So even me, I can't even take my state for granted. And I'm gonna continue because I want to add on to that popular vote. Because in my view, with the momentum that Donald Trump is going with, I want him to try to win the popular vote. The reason why we don't win the popular vote, and I'm also explaining this is why I like the Electoral College and not the popular vote, because the popular vote, the Electoral College, you get points based on how much of the population, how much of the percentage of the population you have in the United States. You see how California has 54 electoral votes? Because they are just the most populous state in the union. So they swing the popular vote. You do understand that. So when these people say, oh, popular vote, yeah, because you got a people, like 10 million people conditioned to vote Democrat, and they happen to be the largest state. And that kind of fuddies the numbers. Even though there's more red states than blue states, you win the election, make it make sense. You want to go off the popular vote? Because what's good for California may not be good for Florida. And this is an example I like to use when we're talking about the Electoral College, is that if I'm raised in Florida, we have certain beliefs. Hey, abortion ban, 6 weeks. Yeah, that's it. No exceptions after 6 weeks, whatever. Florida has a different culture than California. So if we did by democracy, and this is why I said we're not a democracy, we're a republic, representative government, aka Floridians vote on what Florida should do, Californians vote what California should do. But if we were truly a democracy, California should be able to vote on what Florida does. And as you saw from the electoral points, they got 24 more electoral points than Florida. That means they have a way higher population than Florida. So that means if all the Californians vote in their best interest against Florida, Florida loses every single time. This is why we have representative government. This is why we have the Electoral College. The Electoral College may not be a perfect system. No system is perfect. But it's a better system than popular vote. Because if we won the election by popular vote, let me show you what politicians will do. They'll ignore all these states. You see the states with 4, under 10 points. If you have 10 points or less, they'll ignore you. And then they'll prioritize Texas, New York, Florida, California. That's it. They'll go for the more populous state, 28 points. Yeah, that's it. They'll just go here because that's where most of the population resides in the United States of America. And everyone else, they're like, hey, F it. Because California, in some states, they have more people than 7 states combined, like Vermont, Montana, Idaho. More population than many of these states combined. So as a politician, you'd be like, you're going to make the politicians' jobs easier. Well, with the Electoral College, you have to try to get everybody's vote because everybody's vote counts towards a number. And this proves every single day that we're not a democracy, we're a republic. Because you have to gain the votes of the representation of the state. That's it. What does the state values represent? And are you speaking in their best interest? With the popular vote, all you got to do is focus on the big cities, and that's how you're going to win the election. You're going to change the incentive. And this is why I said it's naive thinking for people who will sit here and say that they want the popular vote to be the elections to be decided by a popular vote, because in all seriousness, it only benefits the Democrats. The popular vote only benefits the Democrats. It doesn't benefit everybody else. But if Republicans had California as a red state, they would be like, oh, no, we don't want the popular vote. You see my problem here? If Kamala Harris wins, let's say Kamala Harris wins by the Electoral College, the media will find some excuse to make up. But if we don't do our job, if we don't go out here and push for more, this easily could be the case. Because I want a landslide victory. If it's close, You're going to give Democrats an incentive where they were like, oh, we don't need to change. We just need to present ourselves better. And this is in the election night, if I'm seeing this, I'm biting my nails. Right? But likely than not, I think at most Kamala might win 2 battleground states. But if she, surpass my expectations, she wins 3. This is exactly what could happen. Especially if she gets Pennsylvania. Oh my God. If she gets Pennsylvania, it's going to be a hard path. But in my view, whoever gets if someone, I don't know if they split this. If they split, let's say they split Wisconsin. If they split Wisconsin and let's say Michigan, not Michigan. Kamala wins the election. If she gains another one, I think I messed something up here. Yeah, let's say Trump gets this Arizona. Because I honestly believe that, to me, the hardest ones to read is the Michigan. Yeah, it's close. Yeah, it's close. Whoever gets, I don't know, man. Whoever gets most of the swing states wins. But I think Kamala only's going to get 2. I don't see her getting more than 2. But if she surpassed my expectations, it's a close race. So, hey, end of the day, that's just forecasting. End of the day, the most unpredictable element, and this is why you don't really look at polls. Forecasting is always going to be wrong because the most unpredictable element on election day is human beings. Because human beings were both a thinking creature and a feeling creature. And if we're voting based on thinking, all the swing states are going for Trump. If we're voting based on feelings, all the swing states will go towards Kamala. Since we're both, where is America swaying more? Are we swaying more on feelings or are we swaying more on rationale, logic, and thinking? Right? Galvanize people to vote. Get them thinking more in a logical mode. This is why I say, hey, look, try to get 10 people to vote. Talk to somebody. Talk to that neighbor that's not really involved in politics. Say, hey, are you voting today? It's an important election today. It might be a consequential election today. I know you're tired of the grocery prices going bad. Let's not reward the government that got us into this mess, and let's try something new with Donald Trump, right? Who knows? I don't know how you're going to pitch it, but I just think having that conversation, at least you tried. But I digress. I think I've been rambling enough for 20 minutes, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I know this has been a long video, but hopefully you guys got some of my thoughts, some of my thinking, because it's not settled. End of the day, all this prediction stuff, it's not reality. It's just how you see things. It's just how I see things. And I think this is the most least factual things I've been saying in a long time in my videos. All this is subjective. All this depends on how the votes shake out. End of the day, like I said, the most unpredictable element is the human element, right? We can do all this data, but end of the day, human beings are not robots. So since human beings are not robots, human beings are not easy to predict. I'm just giving you some of the scenarios that I saw. Let me know what scenarios you agree with. If it's if it's in Trump's favor, if it's in Kamala's favor. I don't see it. If Kamala wins, I don't see it being a landslide victory for sure. That's one thing for sure. Landslide victory for Kamala Harris is not going to happen. Kamala Harris ink out a close victory is more believable. Trump is close victory. That's if he underperforms expectations. Trump barely wins the election. If he performs that expectation, he comfortably wins the election. And if he overexceeds expectation, he winning in a landslide. That's Trump's range of victory in the 2024 election. Sorry, my throat is killing me. But I'll see you guys on the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.